Hey, it's Jexler, and welcome back to more survival on the Fantasia server. Today we're back inside our pumpkin pie factory. Sorry, I just had a derp moment there. And our main goal for today is going to be finishing up the final part of the factory, other than just a few small things, which is the sugarcane farm, which I've already started to set up here just a little bit. But before I get started on that, I kind of want to talk to you guys about some things, because, well, let's just say some things happen, not in the bad kind of way, but they're mostly good things, but just things I want to talk about. So the first thing I want to talk about is that I just want to thank you guys all for this really early support. Like, it may not seem like 10 or even like 20 views is a lot, but for some random kid who's just making Let's Play videos on Minecraft and just showing off his builds, that kind of support so early on is absolutely astounding. So I just want to thank you guys all who are watching now or have watched any of my previous videos. Just thank you all for watching. I really, really appreciate all of your guys' support. It just really kind of reaffirms my motive when starting this series and this channel was, okay, let me close skeleton, but my whole goal was just to, make people happy and to entertain them and change people's lives. Maybe not in the most of significant ways, but at least make them happier when they weren't expecting them to. And I feel like I've already done that really early on, so I just want to thank you guys for helping me realize my little fantasy. But anyway, Minecraft related. So about 3 weeks ago, maybe more like a month ago from the recording of this, like maybe a couple weeks after I uploaded the last episode of the Fantasia server Let's Play, I got a VIP rank and I won it in a contest, so I'm really happy about that. So if you see Triskel on here is VIP 6, that is the same rank that I have, and that comes with some perks, and that's mainly what I wanted to talk about. Is like some of them do have gameplay benefits, and I just want to talk about that before I go on. So I just kind of want to show you guys what I have access to and how I plan on using them or not using them. So one of the some of the more minute things are things like this. So /workbench, and I can like pull up stuff like a workbench, or I don't know if /furnace works. No, that doesn't work. I can also pull up /chest, and I have a movable inventory wherever I want, which is kind of like a backpack. I honestly don't think that it's too bad of a problem. I mean, it doesn't seem like it affects things too much. It would be like the equivalent of me carrying that ender chest around if I were to do that. And I don't really think it harms the viability or sort of the legitimacy of the Let's Play. But the thing I worry about is the access to this. Yeah, I can fly, and the reason I'm worried about that is because, well, I didn't use fly on the pumpkin farm build because I didn't have access to it at the time. But I just worry that people are gonna think that my builds are illegitimate because I have access to this fly command. So I just kind of want to address a couple things with the fly command so you guys all understand what is going on with this. So I can fly, but I'm still in survival mode, so I'm still hungry. It's not like I'm in creative mode where I can spawn things in. I can break blocks, but it's a really slow speed because I'm flying in the air, so that's kind of a drawback with using that. I can't just use that to like fly around and carve this whole thing out. I mean, the most I'll ever use this is excuse me, most I'll ever use this is just to give you guys like an aerial view on a build so you guys can like look at it from multiple angles, kind of like what I'm doing now. Like I could show you that in here, like, so you guys can get better views on this. This is also something I have to adjust maybe later when we're finishing the whole factory up, but yeah, so I'll probably only be using it for like a aerial view. So yeah, that's something I'm kind of worried about. If you guys have any more thoughts on this whole situation, yeah, I can turn it off too, so you can see that. If you guys have any concerns or thoughts about this, or thoughts about any future things I should do with the series or with the channel, then just hit me up in the comments or send me a message on YouTube. So I can both improve this series from where it's already going. Oh, geez, I am derping like crazy. And improve my channel as a whole. Because at this point, even though I'm getting a lot of support for how early it is, I really need more advice and more direction as to where I want to go with this. So any kind of support, whether it be through suggestion or view or even a sub, I appreciate it all so much. Okay, so now with all that out of the way, let's start working on this. So I'm gonna sort of divide this build up into two parts. There's gonna be it's gonna be semi-automatic, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about with the pumpkin farm. Is I'm running into chunk loading issues. So for those of you, geez, I'm just gonna put myself out of my misery here. So for those of you who don't know, there's two types of loaded chunks in this game. There's the normal loaded chunk, which loads everything, and then there is the non-redstone loading chunk, which is the same as a loaded chunk, except it doesn't load redstone mechanisms and load redstone updates. And so that's kind of what's going on with all these pumpkins here, is because I'm going too far away to a certain extent that these become chunks that are loaded but not redstone receiving. So all these pumpkins are spawning and they're not doing anything. And I've also been having trouble with that with my chicken farm to an extent, because my minecart has kept getting stopped because it's not being pushed through the circuitry because it's unloading. So yeah, that's kind of why I want to make this one semi-automatic. I don't want to go back and because I'm going to eventually add buttons, and that'll probably be in the cleanup episode, which will probably be episode 5. I think this is episode 4. Wow. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. So I want to make this semi-auto. So my plan is, if you look at my chest, I've already got a couple. I've got these slime blocks right here, and we're going to use flying machines to semi-automatically harvest all of our crops for us, which is going to look so sick. Yeah, so there's two challenges with this. One is we have to I already have an idea for what flying machine I want to use, and that's pretty much set in stone. I'll show you guys that in a little while. And then the other thing I have to keep in mind is that as the flying machine is moving, we have to make sure there's nothing in the way that it'll pick up that'll keep the flying machine from working. So that's another concern. And that's also why I have these jack-o'-lanterns here, is because they're solid blocks that emit light and they cannot be moved. So that is like a win-win situation for this build. So I'm going to leave that as it is. It also looks kind of like the radiator. Oh, what's that? There's a little buddy. I hear a little buddy. Where's your little buddy? Did he die? Yeah, I think he died. Oh well. Rip, slime buddy, who was never meant to be seen. Oh well. I love this. So anyway, the way I plan to oh geez, voice crack. The way I plan to collect all the drops, because they're going to be landing all on top of this right here, unless I get some flying out that way. So hopefully that won't happen. But the way the sugar canes are going to drop is they're going to drop on these soil blocks or dirt blocks, whatever you want to call them. They're going to drop right there. So what I'm going to do is, you might have already seen the rails here, but these are going to need to be moved up a block, but I'm going to have hopper minecarts running underneath. So at the flick of every button, after the flying machine has run its course, hopper minecarts will run underneath, and hopper minecarts have a unique mechanic where they can pick up blocks. So for an example, say there's just an item here. It can pick up the item that's just sitting right here, which I think is absolutely fantastic and will be incredibly useful for this build. So now that we got that sort of out of the way, I've already got these channels sort of cut into the rock underneath our farm. So now that And I did that off camera because I knew I've been trying to cut down the length of the videos as of late because they've been incredibly long and nobody wants to watch a 40-minute video. Let's be honest, even I wouldn't want to watch a 40-minute video, and I don't think I ever have, which I'm definitely proud of. So let me just see if I have any more rails in my chest. Yes, I do. Perfect. So I'm going to get working on this real quick, and I'll probably speed this up and not do a cut because I want to make sure that people know I'm actually building this. That's part of my whole paranoia with the whole legitimacy thing. So let's get started. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay guys, here we are. I've finally finished filling out this first little rail here, which I think you might have been able to see just a teeny bit. But basically what I've got going is I've got these sets of 3 powered rails, then 1 detector rail, so I got like a 3:1 ratio there. And then at the other end, let me just walk over here, you've got these 2 regular rails that curve around. So one minecart will go on a sweep every single time it is activated. So it'll come back, if you send it off on one rail, it'll come back on the opposite rail. This means that when we activate it, we're going to need to power both of these because we can't know for sure which one is powered and which one needs to be powered and which one doesn't, unless we had like a T flip-flop, but then that's just a waste of time and your time and my resources. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so that's what we got going on down here. So we've already got one of these out of the way. I kind of ran out of gold, so let me just go back home and grab some more gold. I might have a little more. Oh my gosh, I just finished it. Wow. We ran clean out of rails, or at least powered rails. I'm almost out of detector rails too. Jeez, that was really expensive. Good thing I have a lot of stuff. Alright, so we've got all of these rails finished, so I just kind of want to show you guys what I mean by this being like a dual rail thing. So when I hit the button, it sends him on his way. Hopefully it'll come back. I didn't just screw that up. Yeah, there we go. And it'll come back on the other rail because there's a curve at the end. Did I? Yeah, I got it back. Okay. And then when I hit this one, it'll go down that lane. And then it'll come back down the other lane. Like that. So that's kind of how I've got this minecart system working. So now, I had a hopper in here earlier. Let me check my chest real quick. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So I had a hopper minecart earlier, and I wanted to test to make sure that this whole system works out, at least pretty effectively. So I'm going to put some blocks down in various places. Okay, I don't think we have to worry anymore. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 2 repeaters, or maybe like 2 redstone torches, or something along those lines hooked up to each of these wooden blocks here, and those are going to power both rails simultaneously, which means no matter which side it's on, the minecart is going to get pushed down the rail. So already we've got our first part figured out, so I'm very happy about that. So now I'm going to go hop into like a creative world so I can show you guys the harvester device, the flying machine that we're going to be using to soar across each of these different lanes to gather. Oh, I didn't get this one, but I doubt we'll get anything going down that side because of those pumpkins we have there. So that's not too much to worry about. I think we'll be pretty fine with this. If it's a serious issue, we'll try and find a fix. But other than that, I think we're all set. So I'm gonna go hop onto that creative world, which is I'm actually gonna hop onto the server's artifacts plot, which is like a creative plot for the VIPs and above, which is like staff and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go hop onto that so I can show you guys my idea for the flying machine, which isn't my idea, but I'll see you guys in just a sec. Alright guys, here I am on my creative plot. As you can see here, I've got my mechanism. Well, not my mechanism, but the mechanism that Doc M and other members of the Zip crowd created. That's a 2-way automatic flying machine, which is goes left and right. As you can see here, it's also fully controllable by redstone, which was exactly what I need for this device because I need to be able to control when the harvesting action happens. So if I hit the button right here, as you can see, the flying machine makes its way across. It looks a little laggy on screen, probably because of my computer and just running stuff like that. So as you can see, it stops on its own at the very end, and it's also bidirectional, so you just repeat the same process and it'll go on its way back. Now, I did actually change one thing to this that wasn't included in the original video, which I will, by the way, link in the description should you want to build this, is I added these little end caps right here. Normally there's a slime block right here, so I put these end caps. And the reason I want to do that is because this level right here is the level at which the sugarcane is first going to be harvested. We're doing it at the second level, so we can save a block up top just in case we want to add more layers. So by adding the end cap here, we prevent sugarcane from being bounced off into the void, because when a slime block hits an entity, be it a mob or an item or another player, it will send it flying. So even if it's an item that's just been dropped, it'll send it flying and away from where the minecart can actually pick it up. So that's what this is here to help. It's here to help prevent any drops from going the way they're not supposed to. So that's what this is doing here. And so it'll just crop it off the top and we'll be all set. So that's kind of what this is doing. I'm a little worried about how well this is going to work because I'm somewhat concerned about the third block. So we may actually have to make this third level, which isn't the end of the world, because the reason I say that is because these two redstone blocks will be the ones capping off the third layer, I just realized, and blocks could get caught, or not even, well, yeah, they'll be removed, but they'll get caught on top of the flying machine, and that's not what we want at all. We want this to be as lossless as possible. So we're probably this will probably be on the topmost layer of the sugarcane for it to be the most effective. So that's kind of an unfortunate thing, efficiency and space-wise, but other than that, I don't think it's too big of an issue. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm going on. I can also write it too, which I think is pretty fun. So yeah, so this is kind of my idea for the flying section. This is going to be particularly expensive, but luckily I got some iron as a Secret Santa gift. So from Puffs, who's Puffsies, who's another player on the server. So that's really awesome. But I'm gonna have to get some more slime blocks and slime balls and stuff like that. So hopefully that'll work out. But I'm gonna go hop back on the survival server, and I'll see you guys there in just a sec. Poof. Alright guys, here we are back inside the sugarcane room. You may have noticed that I raised up the jack-o'-lanterns by 1 block, and the reason I did this is because if you remember from the previous segment, which you probably do, we're raising up the slime block machine by, oh, I forgot you. We're raising up the slime block machine by 1, so we have to move the lighting up by 1, because, oh no, I'm running low on power, but I'm planning to have like some sort of glass or something really fancy running along here once I finish the farm. So with that in mind, I had to move those up. So now I want to start working on the first canal, and I'll go over here for this first one, but what I need to do is I'm going to use these dark oak wood planks because they look sexy. I need to build my way up to the level of the pumpkin, the jack-o'-lanterns, because they also serve as a guide for where I need to put certain stuff. So let's see here. So piston needs to be where this block is, so I need to put it here. 1, 2, perfect. So yeah, so what I did is I just put in a couple framework blocks here. So sitting right here is going to be one of the. Do I have any pistons on me? I have 1. Sad face. So yeah, let me make a couple of pistons real quick. No, that's a chest. Yeah, sometimes I don't know why I even use the workbench. Oh, I need cobble too, darn it. Hold on a second. Give me cobble. Give me cobble. Give. There we go. That should be enough. How much is that? That's 39. OCD. 40. There we go. And I forgot. Oh man, my power is really low. So I'm just gonna quickly cut and go plug myself in. Okay, sorry about that. So I'm all set power-wise. So let me just make some more pistons real quick, because now I have cobble. Let's make 4. or 3 because I already have 1. Because I want 4 because that'll give me 2. No, yeah, I'm gonna need 4 because this is all very confusing. I bet. I'm so sorry. So yeah, there we go. Now, well, we only have 3 slime balls anyway, and we're gonna want to save these 4 for the flying machine because each flying machine needs 4 slime blocks. So hold on, let me. Man, my OCD did. Well, I don't actually have OCD, but yeah. So that's a thing. So yeah, these are where my 2 pistons are gonna go. I'm gonna need so many. I'm gonna need so many slime balls. Oh my goodness. No, this actually needs to be over a block. Because what's gonna happen is we need a block here. Well, we'll just put the button there for now as a placeholder. Because that's not actually what's gonna happen. Because we're gonna need to power these someday, some way. Then the other piston goes here. And I get rid of this. And so that's already 1 station for where the... Well, not quite. I need to dig into the wall a little bit. So I'm gonna have to carve these wall. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna scoot this over a couple blocks. There we go. We got 1 station, so that's kind of like the piston pulley thing. So now I need to go set 1 up on the other side. So I'm gonna do the same thing real quick. Let's see, how many blocks apart was that from the line? That's 2 blocks. Okay. So we need to go 1, 2, place a sticky, place a block, place a button. Button actually helps the spacing a little bit because I can just place that block right there. So then we got that side because they need to be on opposite sides because they need to pull the redstone blocks that act as bud switches in opposite directions. So some of you who don't know and understand redstone may not understand what I said at all, but that's kind of how the flying machine works, and that's how almost every flying machine in Minecraft works. Well, actually I think every single one does. So I don't know where we would be without bud switches or bud block update detectors because I just can't speak today. So I have my 4 slime blocks, but I don't have enough, so I'm gonna go buy some using server currency, which is probably gonna be expensive. So let's go to shops. No, we don't want player shops. Yeah, they got a lot of new player shops recently. Let me check the redstone shop real quick to see if I can buy some stuff. Well, they have sticky pistons, but how much are they? Oh, that's a lot. Is there a mob drops shop? Let's see here. Armory, music shop, shop of mobs and drops. Oh, this looks new. Yeah, this looks very new. Yeah, slime balls. Let's see how much they are. Ooh, 60? Let's see, money. I've got a good amount. Let's just buy a stack. Maybe 2 stacks. And then we'll go back. Or we'll go home. Because I really can't think today. Oh yeah, I think I have a clock here. I remember that now. I don't think I ever showed you guys this, but you probably have seen it, so who cares? So let's see. Workbench. I need 4 pistons. So, because I need 8. Because I need 2 for the weird thing. 2 for... Alright guys, here we are. I just finished fixing this part, finally. Took forever. Well, not really, but felt like it took forever. So, now we got it back on this floating bay. I didn't want to put it over there because I was a little worried about it. But now we're all on the same level here. It's all set, should be working fine. So let's try it again real quick. Yeah, here we go. Seems a little laggy, but that's to be expected because it's a server after all. But it's looking pretty sweet. So now the other thing I gotta test is to make sure the other loading bay works. Because then after that, we can continue work by making the other three canals work. So hopefully that'll work out very well for us. But anyways, let's try this again, and I'll actually write it back this time for the funsies. Oh yeah, I need to do something quick once I get off this. Yeah, this would be really cool as like a way to get across like a sky base. That would be so sweet. Ouch. So yeah, the other thing I need to do before I finish off this canal or device is put the end caps on. So I'm just gonna pop those on. Pop. And I want to test to make sure that they work with the caps on, and that they're sufficient enough to work with them. So yeah, this one's getting pulled back. The main thing I'm worried about is these, like getting a one-tick pulse and just getting left out in the dust. But that wouldn't be too big of an issue because they get pushed back on the way. But then again, there's a chance that you would miss it. So I'm just gonna test this one more time. Yeah, it seems to be working fine. So that's really, really good news. So that means our farm is actually gonna work, which is actually really incredible. So yeah, so that's really awesome. I was a little skeptical that this was even gonna work when I was first working on it. So that's really fantastic. So I'm going to probably either speed up or cut. Probably cut because this video is already getting really freakishly long with all these speed ups I'm gonna have to do. So I'm gonna cut to once I've got all of the next of these canals finished, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. Peace. Okay guys, here we are. I actually did a lot more than I said I was going to do off camera because it just started becoming messy. So, first thing I did was put in these little canals right here. So my concern was that these sugarcane blocks right here at the very end would just pop off into oblivion. So these little water channels right here flow all of the items onto this dirt block, which is a place where the hopper minecarts can actually pick everything up. So that's one thing I added. The big thing that I added off camera was the hookup to the hopper minecart system down below to these repeaters right here. So basically what I've got going on is a slime block bud switch that every time the slime block flying machines enter or exit the loading bays, they will trigger a pulse. So what's really cool is not only every time it leaves, it'll send out the minecarts to clear the track, to clear the railways, and then it'll be back in time so it can redo its sweep just in case anything was missed. So yeah, that's kind of what I've got going on. So I'll show you guys this in just a sec. So as you can see, as soon as it leaves, it sends off a pulse, and that would have sent off the hopper minecarts down below if I had installed them at the moment, which I haven't. And then as it comes back, you'll see it go pass right by this piston, and it'll activate this redstone line again, which activates the minecarts a second time. Now, the last thing we have to take care of, besides putting the hopper minecarts in, are the ceiling, the walls, and the floor. So here's my strategy. I have right here cyan stained clay, and I chose this because it has that nice industrial look to it. So what's going to happen is these blocks right here are going to be the wall. So let me I shouldn't have gotten rid of those, but oh well, too late. So this is going to be the wall right here, and then we're also going to right about here is where we're gonna stop and put like some sort of door right here, and then we're gonna build up the wall right here. Because it's gonna look kind of ugly in the back because I had to leave some of the redstone up against the wall, and I can't necessarily put gray stain or cyan stained clay right here because then it would look disgusting. So what I'm gonna do to alleviate that is put maybe some spruce doors right here because you can't see through them as like these access doors, and you may or may not be able to access them. I'm not sure. what am I thinking? Okay, let me get up real quick. I'm just spewing nonsense out of my lips. Okay, so we're gonna have some doors right here, and yeah, that's basically all I'm trying to say, as I'm fumbling about my words. So I'm gonna leave the, these nether bricks blocks here for the moment, because I think it'll look okay, especially with the wall. I think it'll be a nice transition. And then my other plan was to seal this all off with like some sort of glass. I'm considering gray, but I don't know how much gray would be good. But I don't want to use purple either, as I mentioned, or I didn't mention why I didn't want to use it, but it's just too strong. So I don't really know what I want to do. So I'll come up with something off camera, and I'll see you guys in just a bit, because I don't want to do this on camera, and you don't want me to either. So I'll see you guys in just a bit. Okay guys, here we are. I am finally happy to say that we are done with the sugarcane farm. I decided to finish it off camera, and that was probably one of the best decisions I have ever made in my life. Kappa. Okay, so right here is the button that's used to activate the harvester, which are all of those flying machines that I mentioned, or that you saw me build earlier. And I used a pressure plate here because this is where the input is, and I thought a wooden button would just look weird, so I put a pressure plate there. So yeah, it kind of looks strange, but that's what I've got, and I'm happy to deal with it. So inside here are the amount of sugarcane we've gotten after like a couple harvests, like not even 3, just like 2-ish. And that's a lot for like a couple harvests, which I think is all I really need, to be honest. So yeah, I built my glass item elevator in basically the exact same fashion as the one we used for the pumpkin farm. So yeah, that's kind of all I've got for that. Let's take a look at the brilliant idea that I came up with for the actual farm itself and for the facade that houses everything. Okay, my creative spark went off when I came up with this idea. I think it looks a little weird, but I kind of like how it turned out. So my idea for this was basically these two, like, nuclear generators that had like these nuclear looking rods that came in to power all these heating lamps, and that we would have ultraviolet lights on top represented by the purple glass. And then when I started putting purple glass in the middle, I'm like, geez, this looks stupid. It all blends together. So I added this black glass here, so that way it gives it more linear, more lines to it, so it actually looks more shaped as to being just this whole slushy mess. So yeah, this whole thing is an entire facade. It's meant just to house this, and so I didn't have to put walls over the rest of the inside. I actually went ahead with the door idea, so I've got these doors that you can't see through, so you can just come through here. I also blocked this off, and oh, I have fly on still. I was just taking a look at it for a bit with fly on. And I did the same thing over here, and that's just so... Oh, shoot. Oh, I can get back over here. And that's just so people don't come in and are able to break all my sugar canes. So, as you can see, this whole thing just kind of covers over the top. I really don't want to do the walls because I'm never really even going to need to come in here. And, oh, there's a witch. There we go. Okay. I was slightly concerned for a moment. Now I'm not. Ooh, he gave me some redstone and some sticks. Okay. Yeah, so there we go. That was a little scary. So yeah, I've just kind of got these doors going here that are gonna provide our access way in both sides. Yeah, so I really didn't want to do the walls in here because there was really no point, you know? The facade outside is what it is and what it always will be, and I never really have to worry about that. So yeah, as I mentioned, I already wired up the harvest button, and that runs through here, so it runs up to this side, and then it'll run up this little cobblestone block right here, and this is where the pressure plate is, right here. That's where it is, and then it runs underneath right here, and it connects to the other input, so no matter what side it's on, it's going to launch it off. So yeah, now that I've kind of showed you guys the finished product, why don't we go ahead and activate it for one last time on camera. So all I need to do is just hit this, and it'll send those babies off, and you can see them already being harvested. Oh my gosh, that looks so sweet! Oh, that looks really smooth! And as you can see, it harvests all the top layers, and it just leaves the second layers on the bottom. And as you'll be able to hear some clicking soon, that means the system's up and running. And with the way items work, since they're so close together, they're just going to keep bunching up until we get a full stack, and then the full stack will rise up, which really isn't a problem unless I leave the immediate area, where if I'm working in the factory, I won't be. So that's not really a big issue. So yeah, that's, let's see, is it actually going to raise up? It might take a while because this thing's a little slow, because I have a slow clock down there ticking it off, but it's gonna work just like the old one did. Yep, you see, there it goes. And it'll just fill up just like that, and hopefully I won't overload the system here because no, I won't. I'll be fine. But so yeah, I only want to stick with one station. I was originally gonna have another station over here where you'd sit down and turn all the sugar cane into sugar, but I found that to be kind of redundant and it would take too many resources to implement that. So what we're gonna have happen is you're gonna sit here and all of your supplies will be available to you. So you're gonna grab sugar cane from here, and you're gonna grab pumpkins from here, and your eggs up top from here, from our egg farm, which we did 2 episodes ago, which is a really long time, because I never upload, lol. Okay, sorry, I'm getting a little giddy here. So basically what is going to happen, let me just get out of the chair real quick, is I'm going to be using this crafting table to craft everything, and then I'm going to throw all the pumpkin pies into the central hopper. And then this hopper is going to take it off to like a packaging station where I keep like chests and all that sort of stuff. So that way, when it's time to put it in a shop, which I really want to make in a future video, then it'll be all set to go, and it'll be all processed and everything. So yeah, that's about all I have time for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys like this build. I think it turned out really, really well. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope to see you next time. Peace.